Hi everybody, Chris from Flying Star Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about members of the family and the stars, the flying stars that are likely to influence them for the coming year 2020. But first I got to fix my hair, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back as promised, and today we're going to be talking about the flying stars for 2020 and the family members that each of these stars will most likely influence for the year. In Flying Star Astrology, every direction has a family member associated with it. So the star that sits on that direction is also more likely to affect one family member than another. So for 2020, the direction where mom is for the year, and the mother in Flying Stars can be the mother in the family, or if your mother lives with you, like if you're my age, if you're older and your mom lives with you, the mother would represent your mother living with you. So you're looking at the household and seeing who the mother would be. It's always the oldest woman in the house. So if you're the mother of your children, but your mom also lives with you, then your mom would be the one that this star would affect. If, for example, my family, it's just the four of us, I'm the mom, so the star is most likely to affect me, as opposed to my mother who doesn't live here. So this year we have the relationship star sitting in the area where mother is. So this is a great year for moms to forge stronger relationships with their children, with business partners. If you happen to run a business and you have a partnership with one other person, to strengthen your marriage relationships, this is a really good year for you to do that. The middle daughter will have the illness star sitting on her. Now, who's the middle daughter? There are three daughters in Flying Star Astrology. There's the middle daughter, the oldest daughter, and the youngest daughter. So the middle daughter would be, if you have two daughters, it would be the youngest daughter, most likely. If you have three daughters, it would be the actual middle daughter. It can also affect middle-aged women. So middle-aged women and flying stars would be from the ages of 30 to 60. So the illness star sits on the middle daughter for the month, or for the year 2020. And what that can indicate is, it can indicate illness. So the person is more likely to get things like colds and flu than usual. But if they have a chronic illness, it could flare up more than usual this year. So things like diabetes, hypothyroidism, anything where you're taking a daily medication to control a disease or an illness you have, you want to really stay on top of that this year if you are the middle daughter in the family or a middle-aged woman. The other thing that this can indicate is, especially middle-aged women, is that you work harder this year, or the middle daughter has to work harder this year. If she's in school, she may have to work harder because of the classes she's taking, or normally the classes are fairly easy for her, but she's having to work harder to get the kind of grades that she wants to get. If you have a job and you're the middle-aged woman or the middle daughter, you can find that you're working harder at your job, but you're not seeing the kind of rewards that you'd like to see this year. And that's just a matter of this star coming in at this time. Next year it'll be better, but this year is really about hard work and about making sure that you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, in all ways that you need to take care of yourself. The oldest daughter would be the oldest daughter in the family. If you only have one daughter, for example, I have two children. I have a son and a daughter. My son is the oldest, my daughter is the youngest. When I've looked at these flying stars every year, I find that the star that affects her most is the one that falls on the youngest daughter. So if you have only one daughter, or if you have two daughters and you're not sure which star would apply to them, take a look through the year and see which star or which energy seems to affect them the most, and that will tell you which one of these categories that they fall into. So for the oldest daughter, the windfall star sits on her this year. So that can mean opportunities from out of the blue come to her, money, gifts, things that are beneficial, and it usually comes out of the blue. It comes unexpectedly, and it's usually a 1 or a 2 time thing. It's not like this happens continuously throughout the year. So the windfall star, for example, if she's looking for a job, she could find that she happens to mention something to somebody about needing a job or looking for a job, and they say, oh, I know the perfect place, go interview here. And she's able to get a job she wasn't even really looking for through a connection that she has. Or perhaps somebody gives her a gift of money, like maybe she gets a bonus this year through her work, or somebody just gives her a check that she wasn't expecting. It really could be anything, a gift, but that's a good star to have for the year. The youngest daughter, which like I said, I have one daughter and she's the youngest child in the family, and I've found that the youngest daughter is the area of the house where the star affects her most. So the youngest daughter is going to have the fame star on her this year, and that can mean literal fame, especially if they do work like movies or videos, or if your youngest daughter is an author, you could find that she experiences fame this year through her work. But it also means fame in the sense that you gain recognition or awards through the work that you do, or through your school, or through community activities that you're involved in. So that's another good star. The oldest son has the star of change on him for this year. And again, the oldest son is going to be, for, like in my family, my son is the oldest child. This is the area in Feng Shui and in Flying Stars that the star affects him. If you have 3 sons, this is going to be your oldest son. If you have 2 sons, this will likely be your for your oldest son. But take a look at the oldest son, middle son, and youngest son, and see which stars that you find are affecting your child the most, and that will tell you which area, which star is most likely to affect him each year going forward. So the oldest son, like I said, has the change star sitting on him. So that could be a change for just about anything. This direction happens to be east, which is health, family, and government. So it could be if he works in the government, he changes jobs within the government, or if he works in a family business, there's a change in the family business. Maybe he leaves the family business or joins the family business. Or it could be a change in their health also, which could be positive, or it could be that they've been putting off seeing the doctor for something that they've needed to take care of for a long time, and now this star is finally forcing them to go get this issue taken care of. So the change star can be abrupt. If you've been working toward change, what can happen is that this star just makes that change happen faster than you're really ready for. But if you haven't been working toward change that you should be making or need to be making, whether you're conscious of that or not, this star can force that change upon you, and then it's not really as pleasant as it could be if you had been planning or you knew that this kind of event was coming up. But like I said, every year the stars change, and it's not an every year, every day, all year long type of situation. It's likely to be one thing that happens and that causes the change, and then the rest of the year kind of settles down around that particular change that occurs. The father is the father in the family, or the oldest man in the family. So again, if you have a family and your father is living with you, that would be the star that would be affecting him for the year. If your husband is the father of the family and he's the oldest male in the family, then this would be the star affecting him for the year. So the star of spirituality and wisdom is sitting on the father this year. So it could be that your husband becomes, or your father becomes, more philosophical this year, or experiences a deeper connection to God, to the universe, to Allah, to whatever they believe to be source energy, or they just become like they seem to be more wise, like the choices that they're making and decisions they're making about themselves have more wisdom to it. They're also more likely to succeed in trusting their intuition this year because of this star sitting here. It's like they're receiving divine guidance, divine guidance and divine advice, even if they ask for that. So this is a good year for spiritual growth. The middle sun has the conflict star sitting on him this year, and this can be, the way this can work out is that the middle sun could experience more arguments in his life, even if he's not participating in them. It could just be that the people around them are more argumentative. It could be that if there has been an issue involving a possible lawsuit, that lawsuit comes to, that lawsuit comes up this year and it goes to court. It could be that people are jealous of him, and so there's a lot of talk about him, jealousy, gossip, things like that. So for this star, the best way to handle this particular star is to keep your sense of humor. What this star is really asking you is to lighten up and not take life so seriously. So a good thing for him to do would be to, laugh more, see funny movies, tell jokes, tell funny stories. Anything that lightens the mood will help him get through this year around the conflict star. The youngest son has the star of new beginnings. So again, this is either the youngest boy in your house, or if you have 3 sons, it's going to be your youngest son. The new beginning star is all about starting something new or starting something over. So for the youngest son, the new beginning star and his direction happen to be in the northeast. So it could be that he decides to go back to school, or like if he has dropped out of college, maybe he decides to want to go back to school, or he starts college this year, or takes up reading a particular type of author that he really enjoys, or goes to church with a newfound enthusiasm for religion, whatever that religion is for him. It can also be starting anything new, a hobby, a new job, a new family, a new relationship. But because the Northeast is tied to learning, teaching, and religion, it could very, very well be that that is something that affects him, something new that he starts this year, going back to school, restarting school, even teaching, rejoining a church or switching churches, or synagogues or temples or whatever he happens to enjoy. It can also be taking up something that helps you connect more spiritually, connect more to your soul. So that could be like taking up yoga or meditation, or anything that helps you become more centered and grounded. So I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found that helpful. And if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button if you like it. If you click the bell, you'll be notified every time I put one of these videos together. And if you have any comments or questions, or if there's a particular type of video you would like to see, go ahead and write that in the comment section below, and I'll take a look at making that for you. And just so you know, 2020 has its own flying stars, right? Every year we have new flying stars. Every month we have new flying stars as well. So every year I put together a report called the Flying Star Outlook. And the outlook for 2020 is now available. And what I do is I talk about the stars in each one of the directions, and I give you an outlook for that particular area of your life. I tell you what's likely to happen and how to work with that energy, as well as how to activate the good stars and diminish the energy of the difficult stars. Now, something new that I'm doing this year that I haven't done before is I also put together a personal power number flying star outlook. So I tell you what your personal power number is. In Flying Star, you have a power number, and you also have 4 directions that are really good for you. So I talk about what those directions are for you, what star sits on those directions for you, how to work with the energy of those stars. And so it's like a prediction for the year, not only for the year in general, but for you specifically based upon your power number. So if you're interested in that, and I've already sold like 50 or 60, I think so far, just go to my website, flyingstarastrology.com, and it says Flying Star Outlook 2020. Just click there, you place the order, and I will email this to you. It's a PDF file. Again, you have 2 documents this year, so it's a little bit bigger report than normal, but it's filled with a lot of really good information, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you soon. Bye.